Good afternoon and welcome once again to In the Hot Seat with Deborah Fennella and
Tony Go. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon wherever you are in the world. Now we've got a very special guest who's been waiting very patient today, and we're really blessed to go all the way across to America in Tennessee to interview the most talented. She's a multi-award Grammy Award singer, an actress, an author, Liz PRESLEY. Now, Liz is involved in so many amazing projects, and as you know, we did interview Liz going back just over a month ago about her book Kid of the King. So we're actually catching up with Liz to see what's been going on since our last interview. So good morning, Liz. How are you? I know it's 8 a.m. in Tennessee at the moment, isn't it?
9 a.m. 9 a.m. Just past 9 a.m.
Just past 9 a.m.
Oh, just past 9 a.m. Oh, it's not too bad then.
Yeah.
Bless you. And how are you, Liz? You okay? Did you manage to get some sleep?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm some good sleep. Thank you. And how are you both doing, Deborah and Tony?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
We're really good, thanks, Liz. We've been really busy, haven't we, with interviews as well?
Lots of things going on our end as well. So we're keeping busy.
Now,
just point out, just for future reference, because we interview a lot of people in the United States, the North and the South. You're 5 hours behind. You say it's just after.
5 hours.
Because I've got a quarter after 2. What have you got there? I've got a quarter after 2.
The time here now is 9:13.
Yeah, well, I've got exactly the same, but past 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay.
Yes.
So it's 5 hours. So we can
I used to think it was 7 actually, even myself, but it's not. It's 5. I mean, maybe. Well, I don't know.
Yes, 5. Yes, 1400. So 5 and 9 is 1400. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it also depends as well, you know, whether it's like British summertime or, you know, the clock's going back in the winter time as well, Liz. Now, you've been really busy, haven't you, since we last interviewed you with some musical projects. You've been busy writing songs, and you have actually got a new song coming out, haven't you, called Why Me, Lord, with a colleague of yours. Please tell our viewers a little bit about the song and what's the meaning behind Why Me, Lord, and a little bit about the storyline behind it, please.
Well, really, the reason I released Why Me, Lord was the same reason I released my song Scared Little Child, which I wrote the Scared Little Child, but Why Me, Lord obviously is a cover that was covered by my father and Chris Christopherson and other artists as well, mainly Chris Christopherson and my dad. And the reason that I released it is because it's like, why me, Lord? You know, we go through so many things in life. You know, we're trying to work very hard and get to where we're going and make things happen and follow your dreams and stuff like that. And things happen to you along the way, you know. And so it's like, why me, Lord? And it's like also, why me, Lord, for having such great opportunities and such wonderfulness happen to me in my life as well, you know. And so why me, Lord? Why am I chosen to have, you know, be able to have the opportunity to have good things and other people are not, you know? Like in our foundation, we help lots of people who have less opportunities and less disadvantaged. We try to help them. So why me, Lord? You know, why me, Lord, for the good things, and why me, Lord, for the bad things? You know?
It's a question that a lot of us ask, I think, if the minute something goes wrong, why me? Why me? Yeah. And the answer you come back with is because there's a reason for it, isn't there?
I think
always a reason for it.
I think you have lessons to learn. You know, I had a big lesson to learn recently, and I learned that lesson very hard. And I know the reason I had to learn that lesson. And so I do believe we're on a journey, and if you embrace that journey, whether things good or bad, you know, as long as you kind of have your health. And if you don't have your health, then I send all my love and prayers for you, and that's why we have our foundation. But the idea is, you know, to go through your life and understand your experiences and know why you're going for those experiences. Not just say, oh, I'm bad, I'm having bad luck, this is bad, this is terrible, this bad thing happened to me. To say, no, why did this happen to me? What do I have to learn from this? And you'll find you have to, I believe in myself, I find I learn from something every time.
Most definitely. And it's when we go through the hardest times in our lives that we do tend to learn the most lessons, not when everything's rose in the garden, but when things do turn around for the better, that's when we start appreciating more what God and the angels have actually blessed us with, haven't we? And I always find out with my life's not been easy, but I always look at what challenges you today makes you stronger tomorrow. And it's so important never to give up, no matter what's thrown at you, good or bad, and to pick yourself up and dust yourself down and know that things eventually do get better. But it's all about trusting and having faith, Liz, isn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Lesson.
Yeah, I think basically, you know, like recently I went through some very difficult thing, very, very difficult. In actual fact, this angel came into my life and was there by my side the whole time and saved my life, basically. And it was a very hard thing I went through. And it was one of those things where you think, my goodness, I may not make this one, you know, but I did. But it was because of this angel that came into my life and was by my side, and also was very kind and loving and caring and understanding. And so that made the difference. It got me through that particular thing. You know, it's in order for me to go back on into the future and do my song with Cranty, Why Me, Lord, and other things I'm going to be doing in the future, like movies and things like that. I guess it wasn't my time. I had to learn this lesson really hard, this stage at home, being home at Graceland, what I went through recently. However, it also helped me have education to never let that sort of thing happen again, and to really be even more, you know, weary, but also be more loving and caring and more successful in the future.
It's definitely, Liz. So would you like to maybe sing us a little, maybe a couple of lines from the song, or tell us a couple of lines from the song? So I'm putting on the spot now. I know it's really early in the morning.
Yeah, Lord, what have you done, you know, basically to deserve, you know, basically it's about why me, Lord, what have you done to deserve the only Son, you know, which is obviously Jesus in my life. You know, what have I done to deserve that? What have I done in the good ways to deserve that? What have I done in the bad ways to be having to go through lessons and things like that as well? I think it works on both sides. So yeah, that we're working on today actually with me and Cranty, and we're having some fun this morning, and that we're very excited, and is a very Cranty is a very dynamic man as well, and he's very talented.
So you're actually recording it in the studio today, Liz, are you, with Cranty?
We are recording that song today, yes. And
exciting. Can't wait to hear it. Can you?
He's working on it right now. He's working on the guitar and the piano and things like that. And so I'm super excited. And he's saying to me, "Oh no, we're not." I said, "Cranty," I said, "You're a genius." He says, "No, not that good, not that good." Yes, you are, Cranty.
Oh, bless him. It's almost like he's heaven sent. And I can imagine with the song, it's part of your healing, and it will be quite emotional when you're singing it. 'Cause I know sometimes when I write songs through experiences that I've had, I can, you know, feel quite emotional as I'm singing it. As well, because it is all part of our healing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well this song, you see, I consider all my songs my babies, because they're all like babies, aren't they?
They are, most definitely.
Creating your baby. Anyway, so Cranty came into my life, and he's just like, it was like magic. He came into my life, and we're like, "Can we do this thing?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do this thing." So, "Oh, okay." And so here we go. You know, we're doing this thing together, and he's a miracle in my life. I had the angel come in my life, you know, who saved me from my past very, very difficult experience, and then now I've got Cranty in my life as well.
Oh, bless you.
You've definitely been blessed and looked after by the angels, without a doubt. Now you've also,
he was definitely God sent, because he's delivering a lot more than he would normally have to deliver. You know, he's really going the extra 25 miles compared to what you would have somebody do if you're working with somebody else. So he really is. He's also one of my angels, I do believe.
Oh, bless him. That's exciting. So when do you hope for the song to be released into the charts, Liz?
I'm hoping we're going to get this thing released by the end of this week, hopefully, if things go well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Exciting. That's quick.
What platform are you aiming for? What platform will the song be on?
It gets delivered worldwide, so it'll be on most of all the platforms that you know of. So yeah, just, you know, like Spotify and iTunes and everything, and lots of things in England too, and different countries, and so all the platforms that you used to be there.
You're also about the Billboard 100 charts. Are you aiming for that, do you think?
Actual fact, now, well, here's the thing. I had to learn a lot of things coming home to Graceland. I had to learn to get my image. I had to learn to get my branding. I had to learn to settle down in Graceland. I had to learn to get accepted by the fans. I had to learn so many things. So now finally we're at a point where my life is stable, very stable. And this is the first time in my life's ever been stable, you know. And so, of course, when my daughter, I raised her, it was kind of stable, but not like today. I mean, now my life is very stable, and the reason why is I came home to Tennessee, and where I'm supposed to be, and I thought to myself, now I'm home in Tennessee, things are going to be smooth, right? No, I had to get through all the things of my past in Tennessee too. So, you know, the feelings and stuff like that. So now I'm really settled in a home in Tennessee. There's no, before when my whole life was searching to be somewhere, I'm home. The only place I belong to is Graceland. So, you know, so I'm home, and got my home as well. And I've got my home in my mountains, private and everything else. So I can do my things. And for the first time in my life, I'm home, I'm settled, and I'm stable. And so, yes, now I want to go for the charts. Can I get one in the charts? I don't know. It's not that easy.
Well,
I think you can.
1,000 copies easy.
I think so,
Yeah.
most definitely. It's a case of being in the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
and also working with the universe and the law of attraction. Anything is possible, Liz.
I think now that time is here. I've got my home. I'm in Tennessee. I'm no more searching. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm delivering these great things to the world. Hopefully, great. You know, maybe they won't be. You know, and so yeah. So now it's like, yes, let's get this thing done. And I've really been working hard on getting things moving too. And like I said, getting movies as well and stuff like that. So because you're doing movies, so you're traveling, you know, and you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And you're having fun there, and you're doing your movies, and you're going on set, even though movies can be a lot of waiting, by the way. And then, of course, you're doing your songs as well, and working with top people and everything else. And you're living and you're helping people in our foundation, and you know, and it's just, how can you get a better life than that?
Most definitely. You're always busy. I mean, obviously, we're sharing your book, which I've also got here today as well. Oops, I didn't see it. Didn't see it. There you go. Which is also available to purchase on Kindle and also Amazon too.
Yeah.
Those of you who'd like to purchase Liz's book. And I have noticed actually, Liz, that you've put on social media for signed copies. So if any of you would like a signed copy, you can actually get in contact with Liz, and she'll actually send you a signed copy.
Small donation, maybe.
I don't think it's a small donation, Liz. I wish I'd known that, because you could have signed mine.
Well,
Maybe you come to the UK.
I'll be happy to sign one for you. They can actually go on my website, lizpresley.me, and if they look on the website and they'll see book, or they'll see shop, click on shop, and they can order one straight from there, a signed copy.
Oh, can they? That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because also you've got the other book as well, Liz, haven't you? My Mother's a Princess. I don't know if Salim is going to show it, because we've got the picture of that one. So it's a children's book. I haven't got around to actually purchasing it yet, but I will purchase it, and I'll read it to my granddaughter. I've been so busy, but I will be purchasing that and reading it.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. Yeah, My Mother is a Princess. Now here's the thing which is wonderful about that book, okay, and helps you understand about our family a bit more, is that, of course, that's the way I live my life in that book. That children's book is a version of my main book, Kid of the King, but in the children's book in 32 pages, you know, or 31 pages. And it's about me growing up, riding my bike, singing songs with my friend, picking blackberries and stuff like that. Oh. Well, I didn't, because I've always getting surprised. Like when I first came home, I wanted to have the Dream Foundation, and then I realized my mum had the Dream Foundation. Well, I designed certain things that my mum was designing too, and other family members. And I was talking to Neverone the other day, and we were speaking, and he was showing me his blackberries and things he's cooking, growing in his garden, and we had a good conversation about that. And I said, "You're going to make blackberry pie, you know, and I'm going to make one for Mum, you know, because that's it in my book. It's about making blackberry pie for Mum." But it was really real, you know, because I did blackberries and blackberry pies when I was younger, and now after talking with Neverone, which is, I don't know if people know who Neverone is, but he's my mother's son, Neverone is, and we were talking, and he said he's going to make a blackberry pie and even a blackberry strudel, he said, and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Very, very
What
exciting.
about bramble jelly? Because you can make bramble jelly as well, blackberries, can't you? That's really nice.
Yeah, bramble jelly.
Yeah.
Bramble jelly is lovely. My mum used to make that when I went blackberry picking as a child, and it's really lush. Maybe ask him to make you some of that too.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows how, because he's really, you know, he showed me all the things in his garden, and he's got these beautiful flowers, and I picked one out, actually, in fact, and then my mum ended up getting that picture, and if you go on her Instagram and see the one that Neverone gave her, the flower picture, that's the one I wanted, but Mum got it, which I'm glad she got it instead, you know, and and he's so talented with that. He takes pictures of his flowers. He loves his garden. He loves his blackberries. Exactly the same as me. I was so happy for us to.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah.
Does he like doing photography as well? I mean, I love the name Navarone. That's a really unusual name, isn't it? I love that name.
Yeah, he's very lovely and very wonderful man, and very caring. I can tell, very much so. And yeah, he's very good at photography. So if anybody wants to buy his photography, just go to Navarone's Instagram and listen to him and watch him, and you can buy his photography as well. And that'd be great, you know. But he does that, and he does. Like he's growing his blackberries. I was like, wow, you're growing blackberries,
which is wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. Also, we've just shown a picture of you with a young child as well, and I know you do amazing work for sick children with Graceland, granting their wishes to come to Graceland and look all the way around, which is princes and princesses. So, who was the young lady in that particular picture?
Oh, well, in fact, I went home to Graceland, and I was with a was it Sony Records? I think it was Sony Records executive, and I was in Graceland around Christmas time with a Sony Records executive, and we were just talking, having fun. And I was walking past, talking about my music and things like that, and about his life. And this man says, shouted out, you know, Elaine, come over here. I'm like, he's from Scotland, and I'm like, no, just keep walking, and just keep walking, because Graceland executives, you know, see we do too much entertaining a home without permission, you know, then get in trouble. So then he insisted. So I said, okay, we have to greet this guest, you know. And so we went over to greet the guest. We sat them for a while, and a wonderful, beautiful family, and they had this lovely child here who wasn't very well. And so we spent a lot of time with her, talking with her and stuff like that, and giving her the experience of Graceland. And that was a wonderful thing. What impressed me by that family is when I went up to that man and talked with him, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, that's Liz Presley, you know, we love you or we hate you, whatever. But the first thing out of his mouth was, how are you doing in yourself?
Oh, bless him.
Extremely sincere. And I was shocked, and I was like, I'm doing fine, thank you, you know. And so a lot of time with his family, and he loved it. I sang a song to his family too, right there. And you know, and it was I can't remember which one it was now. It was treat me like a fool, treat me mean and cruel, but love me. That was that one. Anyway, so I sang that to him, and then, of course, you know, he was talking to his little girl and putting on my lap, and she was happy and smiling and enjoying herself. And these are the little children that we give teddy bears to. Of course, it hasn't been approved at Graceland yet to do that. But when we go to Graceland and we see sick children come to Graceland, we'd like to give a teddy bear or a dolly of me, my mum, my sister, or I, you know, to give to them, to cheer them up, and to give them that extra experience, you know, of coming to Graceland and when they're so ill like that, you know, so unwell. And it's called the Prince and Princesses Teddy Bear Program. And so I'm hoping in 2022 we get to do that a little bit more and get it approved a little bit more, so we can do that in a bigger scale, you know.
Talking about Graceland, how is the situation with COVID over there? Are you able to open Graceland fully or 50%?
Graceland is open fully now, and we've got a lot of
fully now. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of exciting things, and I've got a lot of exciting things. I'm trying to join more on the executive team, because I've got a lot of great ideas that I've given to Graceland as a gift for my family, you know, in the past we're using today. And also I've got more ideas for the future that can really give us even more of an experience for fans as well. So I'm going to join that team so we can start putting that together even more. You know? So some of my ideas may be great, some may be rubbish, but that's how you get brilliant ideas in the end, isn't it? That work for the audience and our fans from things that I have designed, my mother has implemented, and are working really well right now.
The events at Graceland, they change every year? Do you have a different theme every year or whatever?
Well, before I came home, it was just basically the same thing. And then when I came home, we kind of got together with more ideas. Not saying that I had more ideas than everybody else. That's not true. It's just that I was very excited to be home, so I kind of just threw them out there by the dozen. And for those, they're like, "Whoa, this will work. This is great. This is great." You know, this sort of thing. So my mum and the team put them together, kind of put a lot of things together. And so yeah, we design new things and different things and greater things every year. And I have an idea that I want to do at Graceland. I think it'd be fantastic for Graceland. And I want to I can tell you what it is if you would like to.
Oh, yes, please. I'd love to hear it. It's funny because as you're talking, what's coming to mind is, I don't know if you do it already, but Graceland at Christmas extravaganza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you do like an extravaganza at Christmas and inviting all of the families to come at Christmas time. Be wonderful and all lit up and all
coach tours
beautiful and
and things,
magical.
yeah.
And having lots of coach people turning up.
Yes.
And maybe turn the lights on. Do you do something like that at Christmas time? You know, like they do in New York at Rockefeller, and it's all beautiful, isn't it? I can imagine Graceland at Christmas looks absolutely stunning. So having an extravaganza would be phenomenal, wouldn't it?
It is beautiful, but there are some ideas. It's beautiful at Graceland at Christmas to come to say at Christmas, but we keep it kind of, we keep it beautiful, obviously, and like you say, but we do need some other things happening at Christmas as well. And I have a few ideas about that as well. But yeah, right now the experience of Christmas at Graceland is a beautiful, wonderful experience. People should come because you get the spirit of our Father as well at Christmas, which is and God, of course.
I'd love to come.
I don't even have a passport, so I can't go.
I've got a passport, but obviously once COVID eases and we're allowed to travel, then most definitely would love to come over. Be an amazing opportunity. Now, you've also been busy with your sister, and you've written a song with Lisa Marie, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you recorded the song already? I know it's due to come out at Christmas time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually supposed to come out a couple of years ago, if you want to. And,
was it? Oh, okay.
But when I first, my sister owns half that song, I wanted to get it right. I wanted to get it perfect. So yeah, between now and Christmas, it will definitely be coming out. So we're finally getting Graceland Anthem to come out. Called Graceland Anthem. It's an anthem for our family, for Graceland, for our legacy, is what it is. So it's not really a song, it's an anthem. And it's also replaces CC Rider. When the shows first started, when my dad did them, the song that came out when it started was, well, CC Rider. Right, but that's going to be, we'll eliminate that one, right? And then you sing Graceland Anthem, because Graceland Anthem represents the legacy of our father and our family and our history of the past, present, and future. So rather than having that CC Rider song, which is just keeping it in history, this Graceland Anthem brings our history and brings past, present, and future right there on that stage. As soon as you start that performance, And
going to be a wonderful, amazing experience. So will you be performing it on stage when it's actually released somewhere on TV or an event at Graceland maybe?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, definitely. Wherever I perform, I'm going to perform Graceland Anthem and have everybody sing along to that song, because the song you sing along to, and it's a dedication of our family. It starts off Graceland, 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 and our heritage home and stuff like that, and it explains the story of our father, his past, the present, and what we're going to do in the future. Literally, it explains it all in that one song, which is that one anthem, and of course, it gives that ultimate respect for our family and for our legacy and our father.
So how do you and Lisa bill yourselves when you come together to sing your songs, to record your songs?
Well,
do you have a duo name, or do you have just you and Lisa?
Just me and Lisa, really. But the thing is, I haven't actually got together personally with her. She owns half the song. We own it together, okay? So it's half hers, and we own it together, because that song can only ever be owned by me and Lisa. You see,
Yes.
The song could never be owned by anybody outside the family. It has to be a family song. So we have to own that song together, and we do. However, we haven't got together if we're going to sing it together or anything yet. But I'm definitely going to release it based on all the things. And she wants to come and do it with me. She can do, but she's had a very hard time recently. And so we have to consider that,
Your mum must be so proud of you, Liz. So everything that you're achieving and continue to achieve. And I know that your dad is watching over you as your guardian angel from heaven, and we're very proud of you too. And Lisa Marie and all of the family, and the amazing work that each and every one of you are doing at Graceland.
Yes.
Because his spirit lives on, and the amazing work that Elvis did when he was alive on the earth plane. And you continue to shine bright in Elvis's memory, don't you?
Thank you so much. Yeah, the idea, and wouldn't hear about the idea then about Graceland for next year?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the idea for Graceland next year. Okay, we have right now, if you go to Graceland, you go on the tour, you go into the hotel, stay in the hotel, the guest house hotel, right? And which is a fantastic place to stay, and it gives you a good experience there. But what I'm doing, I want to completely change that experience. You see, because right now, when you come out of the door and you wait outside the guest house, you're waiting for a little trolley thing to take you across the street, because it's dangerous to go across the street to actual, to the side, across the street to the Graceland's on the side, but across the street to the complex. I mean, so you have Graceland on the side and you have across the street, which is a complex. So my idea is to eliminate all those little trolleys, you know, take them away, and then build a bridge over to the complex from the guest house, so that people, when they get up in the morning and have their coffee, they can walk over the bridge to the complex without having to get on a trolley, and have that even bigger experience of walking and enjoying the scenery of the area, and the scenery of the guest house to the compound, and also build a path going to the a path with, of course, wheelchair access and stuff like that, going to the house as well. So it's more of a experience like when you go to like Disney World, you walk around, you don't have a trolley taking you, do you? So you have that kind of experience. You have that beautiful bridge, you go over, all the lights of Elvis on it and everything, and then it's a much bigger experience. You're not like controlled with it, getting in the trolley, getting out, getting back in. You know, that can be.
We're looking at some footage right now of Gracelands, and some of the people you have visiting there.
And then also in addition to that, I want to build a ride. I want to build a history ride of our father and other rock and roll stars. So we'll contact other rock and roll stars and their legacies and get them to be part of the ride. And basically what it is, it will be a big globe, and you get in and you go in the darkness. You see my dad in like holograms and 3Ds and singing and scenes like in a movie throughout the life. So before rock and roll, when rock and roll started, who started rock and roll, you know, all the artists and all the singers that came about for those eras, and you ride in a big circle like that, going up, back down, going through the history of rock and roll into the present and the future of Graceland. And
that's a fantastic idea, Liz.
Please go on that ride. So basically, they come out of the guest house, they walk over the bridge, no more of those trolley things, get rid of them, and they go on the ride as well as experience all the shops and stores, which will make the Graceland experience a much bigger experience for fans across the world. And that will make an experience for history buffs too. You don't have to be an Elvis fan to come to Graceland. You can just come there for the history ride to understand the story and history of rock and roll. So if you're
fan
of Frank Sinatra, you're a fan of the Drifters, they'll be right there on that ride with you, and you'll be seeing how they develop throughout history.
Yeah, you've thought about, you may have already, some of the sets from the movies that your dad did. Have you got any of those on site or anything?
Yeah,
movie sets.
We do have all that stuff. We have the archives as well, with lots of things in it as well. I don't think they've even been through most of the archives, but they have.
I can imagine you having on the site somewhere roustabout. People can come and try the roustabout. What do you think? Maybe get the motorcycles out and do roustabout.
Yeah, we do have. You mean like the art? You're showing the artists and all the movie clips and things. We do have the movie clips and stuff like that.
Yeah, the drum. Your dad rode his motorcycle round. Roustabout, I think the movie was called.
Oh right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe you could have that on site and somebody have a go on the motorcycle and see if they can get to the top.
You could put that. You could put that in the history thing as well. You know, the things like the movies, he didn't include that one as well. You could do that as well, because it's great. Imagine sitting in a little trolley in complete darkness and you're going through and you're seeing Elvis actually singing in hologram, and you're seeing the Drifters and you're seeing Buddy Holly and you're seeing Chuck Berry and you're seeing all these, and you're learning the history of rock and roll. You know? So yeah, you can include some of the movies like that as well.
Yeah.
How big is actually Graceland? You know, the whole size of it.
The acreage, yeah.
Is it acres or is it like a couple of miles? Because I've never been there myself. How big is Graceland? Entirety.
It's acres. It was a lot.
The real estate. How big is the real estate?
It was a lot more. I can't remember. I think it's 40 something. Let's have a look here. Actually, I'm embarrassed. I can't even remember.
Sorry, I put you on the spot now, listen.
Because I think the terminology they use in the United States is real estate. How big is the real estate?
Yes.
It's reduced. You see, it's actually 14 acres, but it has been reduced as well. So, depending on what we're doing and how we're doing things, it was a lot bigger, I think, originally in the beginning. But now it says it's 14 acres, which I'm glad I know that now.
So it's a lot of acres wide, isn't it? Really, when you think about it.
A lot. We have the hotel, and then we have the museum. The hotel, and we have the our home museum. And across the street we have the complex. And the complex is quite big as well. That was built, a few years ago.
One time you had a ranch there too, didn't you, with some horses? Do you still have horses there?
Yeah, still have horses. I still have horses. Now we do have a house on the side too, but it's owned by a private owner. I did try to buy that to make it back part of Graceland again. That's a house that Vernon lived in, and you could get there into Graceland. I was originally going to live in there, but unfortunately, it wasn't going to be viable because I have too many fans knocking at my door.
Because
It's a shame, is it?
I ride some
Could have
Western
done.
style myself. I ride Western quarter horses. I ride them myself here in England.
Yeah, you can see the horses at Graceland. They're not always brought
Yeah.
around the front, but you can see them. We have them in the back.
Yeah. Well, I actually do ride Western style here in England,
Okay.
believe it or not. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
that's good.
There's not many Western riding places around in where I live, certainly, but in the
Yes.
New Forest, I do ride Western. I totally enjoy it. I love it.
Oh, that's good.
I wish I could go to the States and do some proper Western riding out there.
Well, you can. You can't ride the horses at Graceland, but you can ride the horses in there's a horse riding thing in Memphis, Tennessee. You can go to if you want to do that as well.
Brilliant.
As we're seeing in the background, Liz, we're seeing many photos of your amazing, awesome dad, and lots of things that he got involved in as well. Now, I'd like to touch on the movie side of things. Now, what was the very first movie that Elvis ever did in the very beginning that kicked off his acting career?
You know, I'm trying to think of that myself.
Well, he did many movies.
He did about 30 movies, didn't he,
I know
altogether?
there's lots, isn't there?
Yeah, it's about 30 movies, but I can't remember if it was Kissing Cousins. Kissing Cousins was one of them.
Girls was another one.
Girls,
wasn't it?
yeah. Then he had Roustabout, where he was in a fairground.
Yes.
And he was a stunt rider on the Roustabout thing. Yeah.
Yes.
And then Kissing Cousins, and then that's the one with his twin, wasn't it? The Kissing Cousins.
Yes, the twin
where he had a blonde twin.
Oh, did
Yeah.
Who died? Yeah, he actually died in the movie. Yeah, so
that's really sad.
that's portrayed.
Yeah,
There's a list of movies now, I believe.
There's a list of the movies. Unfortunately, I haven't got my glasses, so I can't see.
I can't see.
Yeah, I should have been highlighted for our viewers.
Obviously we're making new movies in the future too. My mum's working on different movies as well and things like that. You know, so.
That's
Your
right.
mum is a very busy lady, isn't she? With many projects like yourself, and it's wonderful that you're working together. So, would you maybe like in the future to be on film set with your mum in a movie? Because you never know that can happen. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? And I'm sure Priscilla would love that too. But if you had the opportunity, what movie would you like to be in? Because I love the Hallmark movies, and I've seen your mummy in one of the Hallmark movies. And it was Christmas at Graceland. They had a wedding. I've forgotten the actual title, but I did watch it. And it was beautiful. It really did. And your mum did actually appear in the movie, and they actually met your mum in the movie, and it was a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, the wedding and Christmas movies at Graceland. Actually, like the one movie there where the lady was coming home to Graceland was really my story. You know, because she was the actress, but I'm the one standing there saying,
I didn't realise that.
"My home will always be my home. This is where I belong." And that was mine. But that was, a lot of things you have to understand. If people pay attention to some of the movies sometimes and things we're doing in the future, like The Searcher and stuff like that, a lot of those things in there incorporate the same as me and my father. And so when I was at The Searcher private premiere in Nashville with my mom and watched some of those things, I was like, I just sat back watching, it's that sort of thing. So people can recognize that sort of stuff in me and in my father if they really pay attention, sort of thing, And so that one of those Hallmark movies did have a lot of things about my story,
I do love the Hallmark movies because they're all romantic, aren't they? They're wonderful.
And my mum always does a fantastic job. She's also so elegant. And
she does. She's beautiful.
Extremely talented actress as well, and very funny, and also very serious in her serious roles, and she can handle challenges and things like that, and create ultimate success like she did in England in the shows there. That she, the live shows that she did, she played a part of a Wicked Witch, and she did amazing in that. And of course, the things they're doing at Graceland, she did amazing in those too. So yeah, I'd love to be in movies with my mum. That'd be great.
At the moment, we're seeing pictures of your dad in the army, in his time in the army.
Yeah.
Do you sort of relate to that time very much? Do you have any memorabilia of the time he was in the army? Or do you kind of brush over that?
I relate to it so much because you have to understand.
Okay.
Our home in Coggeshall was built when I was 5 years old, and from the army. So Colchester is an army barracks, and everything we learned, and all of the family that I was in the army and traveled to Germany and did all the things. The bikes that my dad rode, that's exactly the same bikes that I had too. I had the same ones, and all the things he did and all the experiences, yes, was fully in my life when I was a child growing up and understanding all about that. And a lot more. There's a lot of things people forget about those days too, which I'm probably not going to mention because they're negative. But, you're not to relate to my father, but relate to the war and the army and all these sort of things, and the Germans and the French and English, stuff like that, and American. So there's a lot of negativity with the war there as well. But all those things were fully in my life. I used to go and pick up bullets, and dig bullets up from the war just down the street from me, and we used to put them on the fireplace. Can you believe that? And they were live bullets too.
Did you? Oh no!
Live bullets.
They were the days when things like, just bring some bullets back home, put them on the fireplace. Now you're like, police to arrive in.
I know your dad's bike was a favourite bike was an Indian. Do you have that at all left still?
I don't know what that is, but those typical German bikes, the ones you have with the 3 gears and stuff like that. All those, we all had the same bikes. We all had the same.
Yeah, because during the army days, the Indian, what they call Indian, the bike name was an Indian bike. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's a product, brand name Indian, which is most sought after motorbikes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the ones we had were typically English or German bikes, I do believe. I have to look into that. That's the case. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Did he do a lot of the stunts himself? We see him riding bikes in the movies. Did he do those stunts himself, or did he ever stand in?
I think he did some small minor stunts, but nothing major. I don't believe he did. I don't know. I'd have to look into that too. That's a good question. I'll have to look into it. I don't even know the answer myself.
Save that one. I'll chalk that one up, shall I?
So, Liz, would you like to do some stunts then on a motorbike on film set? I don't think I would. I mean, I've been in gangster movies and many different types of movies, but I don't think I'd like to be on a motorbike doing stunts.
I do ride a motorbike and scooters and all that stuff. I can ride all of those things, but doing a stunt in one? No.
I'd like to do horse stunts. I mean, I can stand on a horse and ride, but I think I'd like to do some more other horse stunts, like you go under the belly and then back up on top again. That kind of thing.
Yeah. The fantasy of it's great, but no, I'd rather be just whisked off into the moonlight or something.
Yes, the romantic movies. Yeah. I was just about to ask you, what are your type of movies that you like to watch when you're relaxing?
I like to watch comedy movies and fun things and true life stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, comedy movies. I like comedy
movies. And who are your favourite actors on the big screen?
Because my dad is I'm going to say that, aren't I? And my mum.
Yes.
Comedy actor. Who's your favourite comedy actor in a movie?
Steve Martin.
He's really good, actually.
Do you know what my favourite is? Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
And Tim Allen.
Yeah, Tim Allen's good. Yeah.
He done 6 Father Christmas movies.
Did he? Jim Carrey's funny as well.
Jim
Carrey's really good, especially in Mask, isn't he?
Yeah, Drew Carey. Yeah, I love Drew Carey too, and I love also the guy who did Forrest Gump. What's his name? Oh my goodness.
Tom Hanks.
He's really good.
Yeah. He's done a movie recently, hasn't he? I think I can't remember what to call it, but he's just done a movie recently. I know.
I like Norman Wisdom as well.
He did our movie actually. We've got a movie that Tom Hanks is playing the Colonel.
Oh, was he? Did you actually get to meet him personally, Liz?
I haven't. My mum has, but he got sick, didn't he? He got COVID, and he had to quit for a while.
Oh yes, he did.
That's right. He did. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, him and his wife. I think his wife was. They both got it, and they're both isolated together, I believe. In the UK, they were at the time. London.
They were actually in London, weren't they?
They were in London.
Yeah. The good thing is now they're fully recovered now and a lot better.
Have you noticed, Alice, how well up we are in the world of entertainment? We know everything.
You know more than
I wouldn't go too far. I don't think we know everything, Liz. We do our research.
We are well informed, Liz, and
we certainly are.
We certainly. We can on this show particularly. We can talk about anything and everything you want to talk about. We've got some kind of experience of it, at least.
That's good. Yeah, when I came home to Graceland, one of the things I didn't do is I didn't study my father, because I already knew about my father naturally in my heart and soul of who I am.
Yeah.
So on purpose, I didn't study anything, because you study something and people say, "Oh, you learned from that situation there." So I didn't on purpose study anything. I learned as I go along, and I do now different things because it's been home a long time. But in the beginning, I didn't, because I already knew a lot of things. I didn't know a lot of the details and things like that all the time, but I knew how my dad was and everything else.
I think now your dad's life was so vast and so full of many things. You're still learning new things about your dad.
I learn new things about him every day. Like you asked me what
things.
I don't know all the answers yet, because I've been so busy trying to survive, to be home at Graceland and be home and get my life and career going. I never really researched all the things my dad did. I
Beautiful
just
place.
was my
Beautiful,
father.
stunning.
Now I am researching a lot of things about my dad because I'm obviously interested in everything he's done, and I want to know everything and all the places. And I want to go and visit a lot of places. I haven't had time to do that either. I want to go and go to the places, stay in the same hotels he stayed in, and sing in the same places he sang as well, and do
Yeah,
all
we've
that.
got some footage
That's
right now of Graceland. So we've got some
yeah.
footage here, and
Yeah.
where he's got his suits and everything. He's got his
Looks
guest
beautiful,
bedrooms
doesn't
and
it?
You want
the
to know?
pink Cadillac.
The
You
pink
want to know
Cadillac.
facts
Yeah,
about
the
me?
big Cadillac that your grandmother had.
Yeah,
Pink Cadillac.
yeah. That's right. You want to know a fact about me, my dad?
Oh, yes,
Go on.
please.
I could walk into Graceland right now and put on all my dad's clothes, and they'd all fit me because we're exactly the same size.
Oh,
Really?
really? Oh, bless you.
Your dad was a 6-footer, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't. He was 5'11", actually. They
Oh,
like
well, yeah.
he had those shoes he put on and made him 6 foot, but he
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
5'11".
And you're also a good dancer, Liz, because you can dance like your dad as well, can't you? And so you're very much like your dad in many, many ways, and been blessed a lot with your dad's talents and your mum's talents.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. But now, when it comes to my dad's dancing, in actual fact, that is actually not rehearsed. It's actually all natural because my dad takes his soul. See, the way my dad actually performs and sings is not like he practices a dance move and practices a song, puts them together. That's not how it is. He just gets on stage and he goes, okay, this is how I feel, and his soul takes over and he does it. And that's how those dances are made or created.
Really?
They're not created from learning them. If you're learning how to do them, then you can't do it.
So he's doing it. He's expressing how he feels when he's on that stage at that
On the
very
show,
moment
yeah.
in time.
And
Like,
yeah,
for example, if let's say you were gonna, you're gonna sing a song with my dad, and you're just gonna learn the song. You sing, "Well, since my baby." My dad went on stage and he looked at the audience, he felt the audience, and he felt this in his soul and in his heart, and he felt this like almost a spiritual feeling come over him. And then he was like,
you feel
"Well,
that energy, yeah.
like that," and it comes across so powerful and so genuine because it's coming out of him. He's literally trying to get out all that pain and all that spirit to the audience. And then he moves his legs, which is very natural. And he dances, it's very natural. And a lot of the things he created were actually created on the spot, so they weren't actually rehearsed. So, and that's how they came about. And so that's the thing that people need to know about my dad, that is everything was very natural with him. It was actually God-given and created as he went along,
Yeah.
And he was a phenomenal artist and performer on that stage, and he would definitely captivate the audience. Same as Freddie Mercury. I mean, he was another phenomenal artist, wasn't he, Freddie Mercury? But your dad was so multi-talented in many, many ways and achieved so much in his life. And his spirit continues to live on. And he had a heart of gold, didn't he? Because he also done a lot of charity work as well.
Yeah.
And also, when I look at his beautiful designs on his jackets, when you think all those intricate diamantes that are on his jacket, it must have taken hours to even glue those on. And he would look amazing, didn't he, on stage? All of his outfits were beautiful, weren't they? They were stunning.
Yeah,
Did he have one designer that made him, Liz?
Sorry?
Did he have one particular designer that would have made his
He
costume?
did, yeah. He did have, well, he had a couple of designers of different eras and stuff like that. When he was actually doing the jumpsuits and things, there was a designer that designed those for him. I can't remember his name now, but he designed those for him for that era and stuff like that. So yeah, he did
That was the Vegas shares, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did.
What we call the Vegas shares now. Talk about the Vegas shares. You talk about your dad, his emotions in there. Is when he sang American Trilogy, one of the lovely songs. What an anthem that is! And he put so emotion into that song as well, didn't he? The American,
yeah. And that's what I'm saying to you. His emotions, it all comes from inside. It's not just like, I'm going to go and sing these 4 songs. It's not like that at all. In fact, Dad would probably go on stage a lot of times and they have a set for him to sing. He'd be like, no, change that to such and such. Because he felt the audience would be different for that. Wouldn't work for that particular song, and he'd do something different and stuff like that. And so that's how he actually did things. And you said about giving. Yeah, my dad would literally walk down the street and if someone didn't have a shirt, he would take his shirt off and give it to them.
Yeah.
He had a heart of pure gold, didn't he? And I can imagine the costume, Liz, with all of the diamantes now. They must have been quite heavy and weighty for your dad to wear on stage. I mean, I've been on stage many times, been an actress and singer, performer myself, and the heat from the main stage lights can make you really hot. So imagine having the costumes with all the diamantes and the weight, and then dancing. It must have maybe sometimes given him a bit of backache, maybe. Carrying that excess weight. I mean, people don't think about that, do they? Really, I suppose. But
it did. Even that leather costume he wore, you know, stuff like that. It was very hot. So yeah, he did. Have you noticed he was sweating so much in that leather costume?
Yes.
You know? So yeah, you're right. Some of these things aren't necessarily built for comfort. They're built for stage. And I think
Yes.
he knew that. He realized it many times. You know?
He certainly did, and he was definitely the king of rock, like they said, you know. And as I say, he's just phenomenal, wasn't he, Elvis?
He was, yeah.
In the work that he does. Is there a particular song that your dad sung that is one of your all-time favourites, Liz? Because obviously your dad released so many songs, and I'm sure you love all of your dad's songs. But is there one particular song that is really dear to your heart?
Yeah, they're all dear. They're all dear to my heart for many different reasons. But there are some special ones I do like. You know, like one of the songs I do like is the very first song that my dad recorded. Evening shadows makes me blue when each weary day is through. How I want to be with you, my happiness. That one. And then, of course, are you lonesome tonight?
Yeah.
Do you miss me tonight? And
he did a jamming version of that. He recorded a jamming version of that, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I Love Them Tonight.
And
with the Jordanaires.
And another old favourite is Old Shep. When I
Old Shep, yeah.
Yes.
was a lad, and Old Shep was a pub.
Again, that was recorded as a jamming session
It was,
with the Jordanaires. Yeah, the Jordanaires.
Yeah.
And they were just jamming. And that was the other song they put together. Are You Lonesome Tonight? And Old Shep was put together during jamming.
So what about Love Me Tender, Love Me True? Because that's another beautiful song. I mean, my stepdad just played that all the time because he's an avid Elvis fan. So I've been sort of grown up watching the movies that your dad was in and hearing all of his songs because my stepdad loves your dad's bits.
Well, it's funny you should say that because you just put my mum up, and all those things, the Love Me Tender and Are You Lonesome Tonight, and the book my mum brought out, Love Me Tender, all goes hand in hand. If you remember back in 1977, before my dad passed away, one of the songs he sang on stage very emotionally was Love Me Tender. That's because he loved my mother so very much. And
so he wrote it for your mum, didn't he?
Yeah, and well, it kind of became, he didn't write it, but it kind of came emotional way for him to release how much he loved her and missed her. And so that, and then my mum loved me. That was "Are You Lonesome Tonight," and then of course "Love Me Tender" is a very good song. And my mum wrote a book about "Love Me Tender" as well, which is out as well on Amazon and different places you can buy. And so yeah, that's actually when I sing "Are You Lonesome Tonight," I always go right back to that time when my dad was singing it on stage back before mum was gone and he lost her, and I always remember those emotions and feelings. Yeah,
oh, bless you.
Sing that song, and it literally takes me right back to that time.
Oh, bless you.
My favourite particular song is "Always on My Mind."
Yeah, maybe I didn't treat you.
That's the one.
I like that one as well. Always on my mind.
You're always on my mind. And you can probably change it. I wish you was not always on my mind.
It's a wonderful song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But as I say, my ultimate favourite is American Trilogy because there's so much emotion in that song. How did that come about, the American Trilogy?
I don't know. Good question. Let's look at it.
Because he talked about the people going out cotton picking and that kind of thing in the olden days.
Oh, we did, didn't they?
Yeah. And there's a lot of...
I'm sure it's a story of the writer. It's more of a story of the writer than it is my father. You have to remember my dad didn't write these songs, so he sung them because he sung them for a reason, because either the manager picked them or because he made the final decision with the manager, and he felt the song or didn't feel the song. But there are certain songs that did mean a lot to him because he would have lots of feelings. But American Trilogy, I think, is just a very powerful song that had a memory of somebody else.
Yeah. That's become an anthem. I mean, we've always said this.
I have to ask, actually. I have to ask and find out about that as well. A lot of things I'm also learning about my dad as well. Obviously, my dad has a lot of history. So
how many song lyricists did actually work with your dad, Liz, altogether?
Well, there was tons of them. There was many.
Was there? There's lots of people.
Yeah, and even some that he didn't get to sing songs with. What's the guy who? What's his name? Only the Lonely. That guy who sang that. Orbison. He was going to sing one of his songs one time. He worked with Dolly Parton, trying to get to sing her songs as well. So you know, he had a few that were just steady that created songs like "Love Me Tender," not "Love Me Tender," "In the Ghetto" and stuff like that. Mac Davis recently died and stuff like that. But there was a lot. It depends, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people
Here's a question for you.
Did my dad write songs? No, he was a performer for songs, and he could have written songs. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely.
We've got a question for you. Is there any time that you've actually caught up and spoken to the Jordanaires, or any time you keep in touch with any of the guys still?
I do speak to a lot of different people that work with my father. I haven't spoke to the Jordanaires yet or anything, any of the living members, but I have spoke to a lot of friends of my father and people that he has worked with, and they've been offered, and if they're still alive, they've offered to work with me as well. So yeah, I have a lot of them are, believe it or not, some of the people that work with my dad are actually cousins. You know, a lot of the ones that did the backing are actually cousins, you know, of my father, and so that's why the voices are matched so wonderfully, because
the harmonies are so great, aren't they?
Because the DNA is there. I don't think a lot of people know that, so that's something people don't know about my dad. Sometimes he chose his cousins to work with, so the harmonies matched.
Now, I'd also like to touch on that you're a wonderful performer, singer, songwriter, Irene. Now, she's been in the midst of writing a book about her life, and when you two first met and started to perform on stage and writing songs together as well. Please can tell our viewers a little bit about Irene and her book, please. Yeah,
I met Irene, and we actually became very good friends. I lived with her for 5 years, knew each other for 9 years, and we're still good friends to this day. And she lived with me for so long and went for lots of experiences with me, coming home to Graceland and things like that, and went on things like the, to see some of my dad's shows, and introduced me to Victoria Price, which is Vincent Price's daughter that had a big history as well. And I always used to have a joke, you know, I said to Victoria when I met her, I said, Victoria, I said, the king of horror saved me for the king of rock and roll, because Irene is part of that family, you see. And so I said, yeah, the king of horror saved me for the king of rock and roll. And she loved that. She thought it was wonderful. And so she's a wonderful lady. And so, so Irene wrote a book about what it was like living with me, you know, and what was life like living with me, and all the experiences that we went through. And that's going to be out soon. It's I think it's not called Kid of the King. It's called The King's Kid or something like that. We got to get the final copy and take a look at it and stuff. I'm not monitoring or editing it. It's her life story of living with me. I'm just being privileged to know her, to get to read a few things, and she's asking me questions and interviewing me still today. You know,
It was taking quite a long time to actually write the book then, Liz, and put everything in it. Is it going to be as many pages as your book? Because, I mean, your book is 200 and, 68 pages.
It's about the same. There's more information. Irene's book, my book has all the facts about my life and everything people want to hear in a format for autobiography. Now, Irene's book has a lot more information in that book about me. That she knows and the world knows about me, and she knows about me, the world doesn't know about me, and she's putting all that in that book, and what it was like to live with me, what it was like to live with Liz Elaine Presley, and how it was, the love, the care, the challenges, the friendship, everything. So you'll get to know what it's like to live with me.
Yes, I have to purchase it.
In a relationship, situation.
So have you got any plans to write another book, Liz, in the future?
Yeah, well, if I wrote,
she's too busy with the songs at the moment. Too busy with the songs at the moment.
I don't know. I think Liz would find the time as well, maybe in the evening, to do a bit of typing.
Well, all I can say to that, if I was to write, okay, people cry their eyes out when they read the first book.
I did. It was very emotional.
If I was to write and tell people what happened, now my life is wonderful. Okay, I've got a great life right now. Okay, and everything's going well, and the future looks bright. But if I told the story what happened after that book, up until this point a week ago, well, say 2 days ago, they would not believe it. Their minds would be blown, and they'd be in tears of horror. So it got worse for me.
Bless you. I know it did. I've been sending lots of healing prayers your way.
It got a lot worse, and it was bad. And So they would go, my gosh, I cannot believe I'm crying over the first book. Now this happened to her as well. They wouldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe it. And so, but it did happen. And unfortunately it's bad and it's sad and it's horrible. But now my life is good. Finally, I got myself protected, got myself secure and happy. And I'm working on my songs and my movies and for my family. But I had to learn, you know, God and my father came down and taught me a big lesson. If you're Presley and you're at Graceland, you know, you're doing your music, you've got to learn what people are like. And if you don't learn what people are like, you're gonna get so destroyed by that. And I did get destroyed this first time around by what happened to me. However, it won't happen again, and it won't be again bigger stuff that I'm going to get in the future. So it's good that I learned that lesson now early up front before I had really, really big things I could lose. You know?
And it's really sad because not everyone's intentions are honourable, and sometimes those people that you think you can trust betray your trust.
Yes.
And you know, I try and see the good in everybody regardless of what they do, but it's really important that you have your boundaries and surround yourself with positive, loving people who love and appreciate and value and respect you, not just continue want to knock you down or pull you down. You know, kindness is the way forward, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to be very careful being me. You know, I'm targeted. And, I have to be very, very, very careful.
I'm so proud of you, Liz, because you do amazing work, as I say, and you are true admiration to the world. Because no matter what lies thrown at you, you do pick yourself up, you do dust yourself down, you never give up, and you continue shining bright, helping those around you, and showing those around you that life does go on and life is worth living. And no matter what's thrown at you, things can get better.
Yeah.
As you overcome those experiences, and then you understand the lessons that you've learned from the pain and trauma, and then implement them in the future. And that's where your boundaries come in, what you're willing to accept from those around you, what you're not willing to accept from those around you. But also self-worth. Are they worthy of you, Liz, at the end of the day? Are they worthy of your love, your time, you know, your energy and your support? And I think that's a real big lesson for all of us humans to lose, you know, actually learn, is self-worth. It's a real big lesson, isn't it?
It is, I think so.
But we've got to value ourselves before those around us learn to value and appreciate us.
Yeah, but you also have to be, I've learned, in the future, you know, I've survived a lot of things in my life, but you also have to learn that people can get you, manipulate you, and slowly destroy who you are. And so they have what they want. And then you lose who you are in yourself. And you know, things you're going to do, you stop doing. And everything then is just for them. And you're controlled that way to a very high level that you lose yourself. And that is very difficult. You have to really watch out for people and watch out for that sort of thing. Now I'm recovering from something like that. And so I'm going to get out there and do my songs, do my movies and do all my things, and just keep working until I'm back to my bouncy, happy self again, you know?
Yes.
To be, unfortunately, in life, you've got to be very strong. You've got to keep going forward for your goals and your dreams. And when things happen to you, you have to literally pick yourself up. And sometimes you have to pick yourself up off the floor where you can almost not do that, you know?
I can understand that, because I was in the similar situation 2 years ago. Deborah knows all about it as well. Being manipulated and controlled for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I know exactly. And I actually escaped that with my life almost. Otherwise, if I stayed, I wouldn't have the life now. But that was back in 2019. But I've left there, and I'm doing exactly the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Building myself back up again. And you're quite right. How much you lose by someone doing that to you.
Yeah, you lose a lot, and you don't know what's happening to you. I never thought that could ever happen to me. I never thought I could be mentally controlled. Unfortunately, I was wrong.
I know exactly, because I was completely controlled like that. And it's like Deborah lived through that with me for 3 years.
Yes.
And eventually I made that decision to move and to come away from it. And that was in 2019. So I can relate to you.
Yeah, I thought I literally had to become a fighter to get out of my situation, you know, or to try to straighten it out. I actually trying to straighten it out because I was very much deeply in love, and but in the end I had to become extreme, you know, with that, and in order just to put the truth on the table, you know, and move and try to recover from something like that. So I understand exactly what you went through, and I wish nobody ever goes through things like that in their lifetime. It's not.
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to literally escape with my life, just
Yeah.
throw everything down and just got into my car and just drove away
Yeah.
and left it behind.
Yeah.
No matter what I had left behind, didn't matter anymore. I could do without that. I can get it back again, and just left.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of stuff too. I don't care about that. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And things that are really going to turn around now for you, Liz. And there's wonderful opportunities that are going to come in. And I know that God and the angels are supporting you, and your dad for the Mums of Spirit, and Jesus every step of the way. And they're giving you that strength and courage to help you continue on your path, shining bright and illuminating the world. Acts of kindness, which is what you're all about, because you are all heart. Regardless of what's been thrown at you in life, you are all heart, like myself. And I dedicate my life to be of service and to help others. And I've not had an easy life, but I never give up, no matter what's thrown at me. And I've been challenged many times in my life. But my faith keeps me strong, just like you.
Yeah.
And faith does keep you strong, Liz, doesn't it? Knowing that we are being watched, watched and looked after.
Yeah, that's it. I tell you what, Liz, since talking to you over the last couple of times, and that, you are the reason now I'm going to go and get my passport sorted out. I'm going to go and buy myself a passport. I've not had one for many, many years, and not even been abroad yet. But now I want to get a passport and come and see you. I'm going to do that.
Well, like Tony and Deborah, you're quite welcome to stay in my home.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's really kind of you.
I'm going to go and get that passport sorted out now and come and visit you. I think.
Come on over.
I think we need that.
Yeah, come on over.
Thank you so much, Liz. And as I say, you do amazing work, and I'm so proud of you. And never give up, Liz, to say, because wonderful things are coming your way.
Yes.
And as you go through your healing and observe the lessons from the past, you'll continue moving forward and feel stronger in yourself and do everything that makes your heart sing and makes you happy. And that's what's important now. What makes Liz happy?
For all of us, yeah.
Amen.
Yes.
And also, for me doing charity work and helping other people, the biggest thing that makes me happy, especially in a situation where I'm feeling like I'm now, after this thing that happened to me, is actually to go and help other people and see them smile and change their lives.
Yes, because we never know what difference we make in people's lives, do we?
No.
And we all make a difference every single day of our lives. It's just like that song, "What have you done today to make you feel proud?"
Yes.
And again, just by walking down the street and smiling at somebody, you don't know what's going on in their life. They could have just lost their partner that they've been with many, many years and feeling really sad and lonely, or no one going to visit them. Again, acts of kindness. You can be kind in many, many ways, just by smiling or saying hello or carrying someone shopping. And I think we need to restore the faith in humanity across the world, that there's still so many good things and good people in this world that are doing amazing work. And that's what we are about, giving people the platform like yourself to shine bright and support everyone else to shine bright as well, to bring positive change to this world and more love and more peace and more harmony and balance.
Yes, and my goal is to do that. My goal right now, if you can see some of my pictures I had when I was younger that you put up on the screen, I'm a little bit, I've got a bit more weight and stuff on now, even though that's not important. It is when you're in who I am. So I want to, my mum's my motivation for that. My mum's always skinny. And so I want to go out there and entertain people, but I'm going to be, let me tell you, I'm going to be getting in super shape. Because now I've got all this stuff, I've got my home and everything. I want to be in super shape so I can be healthy, so I can be active, and I can have a lot of high energy and look reasonably pretty, and go out there and really give the world everything I've got of giving to them, whether it's helping a charity or a foundation or music or anything,
Yeah, amen to that. Can I have your permission? Can I hook up with you on another platform?
Yes.
At some point?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Also, Liz, please can you let our viewers know your website and how they can also purchase your books as well, please?
Yes, to purchase my book, you can basically go on any website with just non-signed, like Amazon, just put in there Kid of the King, Liz Presley. Put Liz Presley as well, because they've got other books with kind of similar names. So put Kid of the King, Liz Presley, or Kid of the King, Liz, and it'll come up. And if you want a signed copy, just go on to my website and look at shop, click on there, and you can order one directly off there. It takes about 4 weeks to come to you because they have to come directly from Amazon, and I'm always running out. So they're coming directly from Amazon, and I have to sign them and send them to you. So be patient if you order one of those again.
Brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much, Liz. And I say good luck for the future and keep shining bright. And know you are making such a huge difference in this world. And thank you so much for letting us interview you today. And we look forward to interviewing you maybe in the autumn to hear a little bit more about what you've been up to, and maybe we can play your songs as well.
Yes, thank you, Deborah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Bye for now, and stay in touch.
Yeah. And I'll hook up with you very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.